What if you held your entire existence as awe-inspiring and wonderful from the moment that you get up to the moment that you go to bed? Hello, you gorgeous and sexy creature. Welcome to Practice Intimacy. This is the place to be to learn all about love, sex, and how to have the best relationships you possibly can. My name is Lynn. I'm a marriage and family therapist in the Austin area. And today we are going to talk about intimacy, my favorite subject, at least one of my favorite subjects. There's actually many things that I enjoy, but intimacy is like the umbrella over everything that I love learning about, teaching, and practicing in my own life. So what is intimacy? There are so many different ways that people talk about intimacy. Even here on this channel, I've talked about it in different ways. But I really want to bring it down to a very concrete definition. And so that's what we're going to do today. Intimacy comes from the Latin root intra, meaning innermost. And so what intimacy is, in my opinion, is coming into contact with the innermost part of yourself. And when you do that, you experience the full and infinite worth and value of your existence in this lifetime. And so what do I mean when I say this? There is a feeling to intimacy. It is a sense of awe and wonder and gratitude around being alive. And usually we get these in little flashes. We get this experience in tiny flashes. So think about falling in love. That's an example that most people would call an intimate experience. And you have all of this feeling inside of you of being turned on and alive, and everything is going well in your life. And usually for like a number of months when you're falling in love, there's this sense of rosiness and feeling good and life going how you want it to go. Does this feel familiar? Because I remember that experience. I've definitely felt it before. And I know lots of people who have. That falling in love experience is so turned on and exciting that all of life is like, yes, I'm so glad to be alive. And it fades after a while, unfortunately. Part of being here is our brain gets used to something after we're exposed to it. It becomes familiar and it doesn't have that same huge excitement. But the problem is, so often we attribute that feeling of intimacy to the falling in love or to the person that we're falling in love with, rather than recognizing that it's coming from us. You are the one who is experiencing that. You are the one who is bringing that about through your internal world. Let me give you another example. Standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon. That might feel like a beautiful, deeply intimate experience where for a moment there's this awe and wonder at being alive. And you could attribute it to looking at this beautiful landscape, seeing the wonders of the world that we live on, or you could recognize that that feeling is your aliveness coming online. And that is actually available to you in any moment. So often we get flashes of these moments just out of the natural experience of being in the world and occasionally having these wondrous, incredibly turned on moments. But you can actually experience that day to day in your life, and you can do things to really amplify it and also optimize yourself to feel it more often. Let me give you another example. Seeing your baby for the first time, or seeing a baby you care about. I don't actually intend to have children, but in just a few short weeks, I'm going to see my sister's brand new baby. And I can just imagine what it's going to be like to hold that little being and to be in relationship for the first time with a new soul who has just entered the world. And if you're a parent, a new soul who just entered the world because of you. That is a deeply intimate moment. And we might think that it's because we're meeting this little being who we care about so much. And yes, that's in part absolutely a piece of why we're feeling turned on and alive in that moment. I mean turned on in a very specific way here. I mean just like lit up with life. I don't mean sexually turned on, because in this experience that would not be happening. But in the experience of looking at the Grand Canyon, it might happen. In the experience of falling in love, it might happen. Sexual arousal can or cannot be part of intimacy. It just depends on the moment. But holding that new baby, you could attribute the feeling of intimacy to this moment, this connection, or you could recognize that it's because of you that you're experiencing it. There are some people that could look at a new baby and not have any of the aliveness that you experienced in that moment. The moment in and of itself is not what creates intimacy. You are what creates intimacy, and you bring it to specific moments that mean more to you. And what if you did that to your entire life? What if you held your entire existence as awe-inspiring and wonderful from the moment that you get up to the moment that you go to bed? This is part of why I love Tantra so much. It is an ancient system that is designed to help people come into a space where they experience all of life as sacred and important. And so intimacy truly is about coming into connection with you, recognizing that you are the reason that you get to hold a new baby, look at the Grand Canyon, fall in love. It's not someone else. It's not something outside of you. If you were not here, none of that essentially would exist because you would not be here to experience it. And so coming into contact with yourself, I am the most valuable and important thing in my life, which does not discount the value and importance of every other being on this planet. They are equally important. They have the same infinite value and worth that I have, that you have, that everyone has. And when you live from that place, oh, it actually makes me a little emotional in this moment. When you live from that place, the amount of joy, the amount of bliss, the amount of compassion and empathy that is available to you because you're seeing the value in yourself and every other being on this planet, it's incredible. It's the thing that I believe we're all really looking for in this lifetime. We're all wanting to experience the sense of I matter, I'm important. And we get flashes of those feelings during peak experiences. But to hold on to that, to cultivate it inside of you, to dive deeply inward and bring that feeling out into the world in as many moments as you possibly can, that is what we are practicing together. Intimacy is falling so deeply into yourself that you experience your infinite value and worth. And I am here to help you have more of those experiences by yourself, with your partner, in life. I am sending you so much love. I hope this video was helpful to begin making sense of what an intimacy practice is, what it is that you're looking for and moving towards as you practice intimacy more and more in your life. It's just moving more in here, being more with yourself. It is basically what human beings have been teaching each other for thousands of years. In Eastern culture, absolutely. And then also in traditional Western culture, I'm thinking about curanderas and shamans and the medicine people of all of the indigenous populations to the Americas, the Western world. All of those groups had practices that turned them towards deeply appreciating themselves and all of life. And unfortunately, the culture that is most removed from this would be white culture. The culture that has colonized much of the world and cut us off from being able to experience deep internal connection. Because when you move inward, when you value yourself deeply, you start to recognize that you are a part of everything else. All of life has value, and you are a part of that. And it is hard to use, abuse, ignore other beings on this planet, humans, animals, plants, all of it. It's hard to ignore their value whenever you start to really feel your own. And so thank you for being a part of this journey. We are really on like a revolutionary movement towards being more connected inside of yourself so that you can also be more connected on the outside. And I do genuinely believe that intimacy can change the world and make this a safer, happier home for us all. And so thank you for being a part of this journey. Sending you tons of love. I will see you next time. Bye for now.